Iran, then that's really looking for trouble.
I didn't know that. Why does Israel want it?
Why does Israel want what?
Him to break the treaty with Iran.
Because they more or less do business with Saudi Arabia, the vital enemy of Iran. So, for instance, in Yemen, Iran is supporting the rebels in Yemen. We're bombing the crap out of them. And so we're supporting Saudi Arabia in various different ways. And they're the most bloodthirsty bastards you can find.
And you think we're doing that because of oil or for other reasons as well?
Yeah, oil, sure. Oil.
So you think when we become less dependent on oil, do you think
when is that going to happen, Tootsie?
Well, you know what? They had electric cars in the 50s.
I don't care
right?
what they
You
had
know
in
that.
Yeah, fine.
And it is coming more and more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
Well, no, it is, but...
He doesn't believe in global warming. What are you supposed to do?
I know, but when I just think that your plight, your political plights, I mean, when you were talking about single health insurance, single payer, years ago before anyone was ever talking about it.
I was just trying us to emulate those countries that do well for the sick.
But nobody else was doing it because you've been talking about single payer since when? Since what year?
I don't know that I have, but I certainly have supported it forever.
But this is what I think is interesting. You'll be 88 November 15th. You're just as vital and just as active and just as caring. And I know you must know a lot of people, right? Your same age. And they just give up. They go, I'm old. I don't want to be bothered. You know what I mean? They just want to go away.
I don't want to be bothered either.
I know, but you do want to be bothered because you're still on all these boards, advisory boards.
I could be home reading the great books.
Well, I want to know, who would you like in 17? I know that you supported...
This is 17.
18, 20. Next one.
Pick a number, honey.
The next one on 20. Because I wouldn't call you a Democrat, right?
I'd rather be a socialist.
So you really are a socialist. Yeah, you're a socialist. So did you like Bernie Sanders? Did you think he was a socialist?
I liked him. I thought he did a good job of bringing importance to the race. And I regretted when he dropped out. I like Elizabeth Warren, but she's a woman and controversial, and I doubt if she'd outperform, what's her name, Hillary? So I don't know who. Biden, I guess.
I like
in
him
the
too.
end.
I like him too.
If they can talk him into running, I think he'd sweep it.
Oh, you think so, even though he's like a little older? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So what?
Yeah, you know he's on the new, he just 6 months ago maybe, he's on the new 9/11 advisory board.
Yes, I was going to ask you about that because obviously you've gotten a lot of flack about that.
Well, no, I just find idiot goggle eyes when I talk to people. People don't want to hear it.
I do.
I do too.
So could you because they're like, when I went onto it and saw it on YouTube, people, the internet's kind of crummy because they can give their give their views. They have no name, no face. They can just say it. Are your beliefs? What's that noise? Oh, plane. God damn it. What are they doing? We're doing our podcast here. What's the matter with them? I got Asner.
This is a cultural capital of the world,
If you... did you feel... So you believe that this is true. So when you think that there were people in the U.S...
There are traitors in the U.S.
And we still don't know who they are.
No.
And it was true that when the plane hit the building, that the people the Saudi's family that was living in Texas or in various places in the U.S., the only planes that were allowed to fly was Saudi families,
that's
right?
proven.
Of Osama. Yeah.
I mean, even the commission.
Did they agree to that?
Phony commission. Could not deny that.
Who ran that? Was that Gerald Ford? Who ran that commission? Who was on that commission?
I
thought it was somebody that I thought would have been more...
Somebody unimportant.
Yeah, but no, I thought that they were...
Gerald Ford would never have butchered the goddamn investigation like they did.
Well, they say that they did it in...
Oh, it was... There's that congressman. Oh shit!
That's okay. So you think that it'll get reopened?
No,
I don't really think so.
I think the majority of people don't want to hear the horrors
I think so.
of American duplicity.
Exactly. And you did, and that's why you got punished.
Well, I didn't get punished.
I mean, would you do it again?
Do what again?
Be outspoken and verbal when you were.
I am now, aren't I?
No, when you had Lou Grant was on the air,
it's hard to
and
tell.
you were the Screen Actors Guild president.
It's hard to. Oh, there's
Marina.
Speedy Gonzalez.
Marina, the wild driver. She's the one that got Ken in the accident.
That blind bitch.
He doesn't mean it, honey.
Oh, yes, he does.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't mean it.
It's hard to tell what I would do now as opposed to then, because I was proceeding, and it's only when I was asked that question at the conference where we were defining medical aid, and the guy asked me the question, if you had so-called free elections in El Salvador and they turned out a communist government, how would you feel about that? And I avoided the question in the beginning, went on to another guy and gave another lame answer, and was so plagued by guilt I went back to the second guy. And I said the sentence that doomed me as far as activity in Hollywood went. I said, if it's the government the people of El Salvador choose, let them have it. And I suffered a blacklist of sorts. Wake up!
No, I mean that's pretty profound, because the people that were, like, say the people that, like, what did you say? The Kleenex company had a company in San Salvador, and then there were Cadbury, Kimberly Clark, and then there were two other English companies that had factories there.
Vidal Sassoon.
And Cadbury.
They didn't have factories there.
Oh, but they
cut under. And,
yeah, but they pulled the advertising.
Vidal Sassoon and Cadbury's.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
He's so much more outspoken, but it's in a way.
Besides today.
Yeah. Today. He just got back from where were we at? Colorado.
Are you in Colorado?
And he's constantly being asked to promote, endorse, support a lot of different activities and needs.
Well, that's the way it goes. Yeah.
But you meet the needs, and he's able to do it. I mean, it isn't like 88. I came from old parents. Like, my mother was almost 50 when she had me, and my father was 56. So I was a surprise. She said it was two martinis on the boat back from Tachikawa. That's how I happened. So but so I came from older parents. But it's an interesting thing, because
My parents were old.
were they old when they had you too, because you were the baby?
Yeah.
Oh, here's what I want to know. When you said you felt the guilt forever, probably, because you said that your father was very, bless you, was very physically and mentally abusive to your other siblings. So he was not to you?
No.
And why do you think that is?
And it's terrible.
Yes,
I
but
mean, not terribly. It wasn't terribly. They weren't psychotics.
I know.
But I mean,
It was accepted
I
in
was
those
raised with such fear of father by my siblings and my mother that he never once laid a hand on me. And
Why? Because you were
keep thinking,
perfect good? I mean,
if only he had laid a hand on me.
What do you mean?
Oh, I wish he had laid a hand on me.
You think that now, or you thought that then?
I think it now.
You do. And why do you think
I,
it now?
of course, became the good boy so that he would lay a hand on me.
But why do you say that now? Because you think you'd be someone different? You'd stand up for yourself more?
Well,
You wouldn't have
because the circumstances make me idolize him in the past, maybe more than he should be, because he was this figure that never struck me. And everybody else got struck. Why shouldn't I? I was denied.
But do you think he was just maybe too old, or did he drink? Was
He
he
wasn't
preoccupied?
too old. No, he didn't drink.
He didn't drink.
No.
But he was a
He did
volatile
drink on days
that he worked.
that it was a mixture of cloudy and sunny. And what are you laughing at?
You!
No, he would get disturbed somehow or other, psychologically disturbed, and he would need to take a shot.
Oh, well, that,
No
okay.
overcast messed with his equilibrium.
Well, they say, Jews don't drink.
Oh, that's bullshit.
No, but this is what they say. They say, Jews say this, that, the country clubs, they don't make money on the Jews in the bar tab. They only make it on the food, and Irish people, they make all the money in the bar. You know what I mean? So that's why I wanted to become Jewish. I never finished, but I started, because they tell these fabulous stories, you ask, especially Russian Jews, you ask them something, and then there's this long story. I don't quite know how it maybe is applicable to what you asked. But
I started out acting, and I looked around, and I said, oh, damn it. I'll never be a great actor because all the great actors are drunks. And I said, and I don't want to be a drunk. And then finally I reached a point where I started having a lot of vodka. And I thought I was being very witty and gay and debonair. And my wife at home said, you weren't that funny. So I decided not to become a drunk.
this is interesting, because they always say in your bio, they go, he was, have 8 Emmys. He's the only actor that's won Emmys in comedy and in drama. And I want to know what you think. I think comedy and drama, everyone's wow, but I'm thinking, comedy and drama, it's the same coin, right? It's just one the other.
Absolutely.
I mean,
It's a very good point you're making.
Oh, good.
It's a very good point.
It took me 45 minutes, but I think Ed likes me.
In any dramatic role, if you don't look for the comedy that you can put into it, which makes the drama even more stinging and biting, then you're stupid.
And that's what you found in your parts. I bet they weren't written that way.
Oh, they were beautifully written.
They were, but
They were beautiful.
But I think you found the way you played it. You found those things that really weren't in. I mean, because if you just said, "Oh, gee, I'm going to make him gruff and yet he's lovable and misunderstood," it wouldn't have worked. When
I watch him work, we do a lot of things together. We do a lot of these podcasts and readings.
Oh, you do? You've been cheating on me? Okay. I thought I was your first. Okay. All right.
He should feel that way, though.
Yeah, he does.
The thing that fascinates me really most about him, watching him in contrast with other actors, is the way he delivers. And usually on the ride home, I study this guy like no one ever. And I try to find what it is that is different, that he does work-wise, that sets him apart. And all he gives me is the same answer.
What?
Well, I read the script.
Yeah.
And just a few weeks ago, he has a book coming out.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. What's it called?
Yeah, The Grouchy Historian.
It's called The Grouchy Historian, October 15th.
We were doing the audio book for that. He was doing the audio book for it.
Oh, that'd be good.
And while he's reading it, we spent a week in the studio. I really got an understanding, because he can't define what he is.
Right.
It's impossible.
I know. I haven't asked him that, as you well know.
Yeah.
Because he can't.
He can't.
I don't ask you what your favorite show is, what you did.
And watching him over that week, and then listening to him for the years before,
you absorbed
the same answer. Yeah, of course I absorbed it. But what was it that I absorbed? What is it? It is him. And what is him? And the thing I took away from watching him this last time and hearing his answers echo, I read the script. And in watching comparison with other actors that he works with, their giving a performance, he somehow